What if the real secret to rising above others wasn't brilliance, privilege, or ambition, but stillness? In a world where speed is worshipped and noise is constant, the advantage doesn't always belong to the loudest or fastest. It often belongs to those who are grounded, those who observe more than they speak, who act with intention, not impulse, those who can navigate chaos with calm. That kind of power isn't inherited. It's cultivated through philosophy, discipline, and a mindset forged over centuries. Enter Stoicism. More than 2,000 years ago, Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus lived through wars, exiles, political pressure, and personal loss. Yet they maintained composure, clarity, and conviction. Why? Because they practiced seeing the world as it was, not as they wished it to be. They didn't try to control everything. They mastered themselves instead. And in mastering themselves, they gained something more rare than brilliance: inner peace, unshakable clarity, and enduring respect. Today, we're going to uncover 9 Stoic principles that will give you the edge, not by dominating others, but by differentiating yourself. Not through arrogance, but through uncommon calm. These ideas may seem simple, but when lived, they change everything. This isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming wise. And in doing so, rising above the noise with a kind of quiet strength the world can't ignore. Let's begin. 1. Rule yourself first. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. There are people who lose themselves in every heated moment. They react to insults, overthink every slight, spiral into fear when plans fall apart. But then there's you. Calm, composed, centered. The first and greatest advantage a Stoic has is emotional control. That doesn't mean suppressing how you feel. It means noticing your emotions before they steer your actions. It means pausing then responding, not reacting. In arguments, you breathe instead of yelling. In emergencies, you anchor instead of panicking. And in disappointment, you reflect instead of collapsing. Why is this so powerful? Because in moments where others crumble, you stand tall. You become the person people trust when everything's on fire, not because you're loud, but because you're level-headed. Most poor decisions are emotional decisions driven by fear, anger, or pride. But when you master emotional discipline, you see through the fog. You choose integrity over impulse, strategy over reaction. In a world addicted to emotional outbursts, your composure will be rare, and that rarity is powerful. 2. Focus where it counts. People spend their lives chasing shadows, obsessing over things they can't influence. The news cycle, other people's opinions, the past, the weather. Stoicism cuts through this clutter with one core idea. Focus only on what you can control. Let go of the rest. This shift is radical, because once you stop trying to change the uncontrollable, your energy becomes focused, powerful, free. You can't control whether people like you, but you can control your effort. You can't control if an opportunity vanishes, but you can control how you prepare for the next one. The Stoic asks, is this mine to manage? If yes, they act. If no, they let it go. And while others waste energy fighting reality, the Stoic adapts, pivots, improves. It's not about giving up. It's about giving your energy to what actually moves the needle. This mindset doesn't just reduce anxiety. It makes you sharper, more efficient, and highly respected. Because in a room full of noise, the person who's grounded in purpose and action, not drama, is the one others quietly follow. 3. Seek the fire of discomfort. Growth rarely comes dressed in comfort. It often wears the face of difficulty, strain, or fear. Most people avoid discomfort like the plague. They resist hard conversations, skip the gym, procrastinate on challenges. But Stoics know discomfort is not punishment. It's training. Whether it's delaying gratification, waking early, or embracing failure, discomfort builds mental muscle. Each time you lean in, you expand your limits. And while others wilt under pressure, you thrive in it. Stoic thinkers practiced voluntary discomfort. Fasting, cold exposure, physical labor. Why? To remind themselves, I can endure more than I think. I am not fragile. It's not about being reckless. It's about building resilience before life forces it upon you. Imagine someone who never practices hardship. When adversity hits, they panic. Now picture someone who's trained in fire. When the same crisis comes, they're calm because they've been here before. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to sharpen your edge. And over time, discomfort becomes not something you avoid, but something you harness. Because you know, comfort creates stagnation. But discomfort? That's where you transform. 4. Stand tall, stay humble. Confidence is magnetic, but when it isn't grounded in humility, it becomes arrogance. Stoicism teaches us to walk a fine, rare line. Be proud, but never boastful. Be sure of yourself, but always ready to learn. The Stoic doesn't need applause. They know who they are. They're aware of their strengths, but also their limits. That self-awareness is what makes their presence powerful and their words impactful. In meetings, they don't interrupt to impress. They speak when needed, and their words land. In competition, they don't cheat or brag. They let results speak for themselves. Humility is not weakness. It's wisdom. It means you're secure enough to grow, listen, and improve. Confidence without ego earns respect, because it feels real, not performative. And humility without self-doubt commands quiet admiration, because it shows discipline. In a world full of peacocks and pretenders, the person who walks with steady, silent confidence grounded in truth is unforgettable. 5. Let reason lead. Emotion is natural, but when emotion rules unchecked, it wrecks relationships, reputations, and reason. The Stoic rule: let reason lead, especially when stakes are high. When you feel yourself triggered, pause. Ask, is this fear? Is this anger? Is this ego? And most importantly, is this useful? The ability to create space between feeling and action is everything, because within that space is where wisdom lives. Imagine being in a high-stress negotiation. Everyone's reactive, defensive, emotional. But you're calm, analytical, decisive. That makes you dangerous in the best way. Logic isn't cold, it's clear. And when combined with values, it becomes ethical power. While others jump into arguments, overcommit emotionally, or spiral over trivial things, you'll be the one stepping back, seeing the whole board, and moving with precision. Over time, people will come to you not just for your opinions, but for your clarity. Because in a storm, the calmest person always becomes the leader. 5. Let reason lead. Emotion is natural, but when emotion rules unchecked, it wrecks relationships, reputations, and reason. The Stoic rule: let reason lead, especially when stakes are high. When you feel yourself triggered, pause. Ask, is this fear? Is this anger? Is this ego? And most importantly, is this useful? The ability to create space between feeling and action is everything, because within that space is where wisdom lives. Imagine being in a high-stress negotiation. Everyone's reactive, defensive, emotional. But you're calm, analytical, decisive. That makes you dangerous in the best way. Logic isn't cold, it's clear. And when combined with values, it becomes ethical power. While others jump into arguments, overcommit emotionally, or spiral over trivial things, you'll be the one stepping back, seeing the whole board and moving with precision. Over time, people will come to you not just for your opinions, but for your clarity. Because in a storm, the calmest person always becomes the leader. 6. Be patient on purpose. We live in an age of urgency, instant messages, instant meals, instant rewards. But Stoics know what matters most can't be rushed. Patience, especially deliberate patience, is a form of control. It's the wisdom to know not every battle must be fought now. Not every seed grows overnight. While others rush decisions, chase trends, or give up after one setback, you wait. You work. You trust the process. It's not passivity. It's strategy. The Stoic doesn't get swept up in hype or panic. They invest emotionally, financially, spiritually with long horizons in mind. And when storms come, they don't overreact. They observe. They wait for the right time to speak, act, or move, and when they do, it lands. That's the difference between noise and timing. Patience is what separates temporary wins from lasting impact. 7. Influence by living, not preaching. Anyone can talk. Few live what they preach. Stoicism flips the script. Live your values. Let your actions be your argument. You want to inspire? Be disciplined. Be kind. Be reliable. When others gossip, stay silent. When others break under stress, stay steady. When others seek attention, seek purpose. The Stoic leads by quiet consistency, and people notice. Over time, your example becomes your influence. Colleagues begin to emulate your calm. Friends admire your discipline. Strangers respect your composure, even if they don't understand it. And the best part? You don't need a platform to lead. You just need integrity lived in small, daily choices. Because in a world flooded with noise, those who live their truth stand out without saying a word. 8. Turn every wall into a door. When something blocks your path, what do you see? A dead end? Or a detour? Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. Obstacles aren't the enemy. They're the process. A lost job is a lesson. A rejection is redirection. A failure is feedback. The Stoic doesn't whine. They ask, what can this teach me? How do I use this? This doesn't mean pretending pain isn't real. It means choosing growth over victimhood. Turn crisis into creativity. Turn delay into discipline. Turn loss into legacy. Your ability to reframe struggle gives you an advantage. Because while others stop, you adapt. You move forward, not despite the pain, but because of it. And over time, people will wonder why you never lose. It's not luck. It's because you've made peace with resistance and turned it into fuel. 9. Protect your peace above all. Most people live like puppets pulled by praise, pushed by criticism. But the Stoic? They anchor in something deeper, inner peace. You don't need applause to know your worth. You don't need everyone to like you. You don't need constant feedback to feel okay. This inner calm is rare and powerful because it makes you unshakable in a world obsessed with validation. You make decisions based on values, not votes. You speak truth not to be heard, but because it's right. You show up not for attention, but for purpose. And when you live like this, everything changes. Your relationships deepen because you're authentic, not needy. Your confidence grows because it's rooted, not borrowed. And your presence becomes magnetic because peace always is. This is the final Stoic edge, to live from the inside out, to walk quietly but boldly in your own truth. The edge is within. Outsmarting others doesn't come from tricks. It comes from truth. Not from dominating the world, but from mastering yourself. The Stoics didn't preach conquest. They practiced character. They didn't chase applause. They pursued virtue. And that's your path too. Rule your emotions. Focus your energy. Seek growth in discomfort. Walk with quiet confidence. Choose logic. Wait with wisdom. Lead by example. Reframe struggle. And protect your peace like treasure. Do this and you'll rise. Not in the loud, flashy way the world rewards, but in the deep, steady way that endures. Because while others burn out, bend, or break, you'll remain still, strong, stoic. And if this philosophy speaks to you, if you felt a shift as you read this, then do one simple thing: like and subscribe to Fragments of Stoicism for timeless stories and weekly insights that will keep you focused, grounded, and growing. See you in the next story.